Welcome to our Saturday class, a little vagus nerve soothing workshop and practice. And I'll keep it in a group setting for a while because it's helpful to see maybe your own face as well as mine. And then when we go into more of the physical movements, more yogic practices, I'll pin the screen so you can see me a little better. But what's more beautiful than your own face? So I have the goddess Saraswati here, and I also have the Hierophant card from the Thoth Tarot deck, which I'll explain a little more later in detail. Maybe you already know it, and you have already some images or notes in your mind about that number 5, the Hierophant. And just to have some symbols around as we work, because a lot of somatic experiencing or meditation is just kind of noting your surrounding, noting your own body and your own feelings. And we can definitely do more workshops on that as time comes, as I'm exploring it more in my own practices as well. And of course, then, I mean, even traditionally, the yoga practice being thousands of years old, they had this innate knowledge about subtlety and all the aspects of breath and body, the senses, and to live a really wholesome, rich, calm, and peaceful life. And so we're bringing it into our ways of working in the modern world. That's very much a much faster pace. It's much more filled with duty and obligations, so to speak, and of course distractions. We could call them weapons of mass distraction. So when we begin our somatic meditation, just firsting feeling your body on the ground, your own beautiful human body, this gift. And if it's comfortable, at any point you can close your eyes and notice what's around you. Maybe there are symbols in your own room. Really take just these first few opening breaths of feeling the ground. Where are your hands? Are they resting in your lap or on your legs? And being in touch with the skin that's all encompassing on your palms, the fingertips. There's heat or cold there. We slowly release if there's knots of tension, hopefully in the belly. We're releasing them, or in the shoulders or in the face. Already, if your attention has gone to your breath, all else without anything being concrete or conditioned, soothe and slow down your exhalations. And all forms of classical pranayama from the yoga tradition is direct access into our vagus nerve. It doesn't need to be anything forced, too controlled, too intense. Noticing, appreciating. Can you feel your breath going out into the sides of your ribs? And depending on everybody's nervous system conditioning, it's so easy to switch states. Maybe we go into our more sympathetic chain, the fight or flight. And we lose contact with our own inner resources of grounding, calming. Maybe we go into a more shut down, withdrawn state where we feel under the weather, withdrawn, apathy. Hopefully, this practice will give you or remind you of the tools you have, all the wisdom that's there. If there is a symbol or honoring your own body, your own breath, something in your life, person, place, deity, we can offer this to in gratitude. In service for your own well-being and those around you. Whether your mic is on or off, it doesn't quite so matter. We'll open the practice with 3 ohms, and they don't have to be what we might consider or feel. It has to be a forceful, powerful ohm, but just elongating your exhale with sound. So take a moment to mentally, physically prepare. If it's uncomfortable for you, you can listen. But vocal toning, another way, people who sing or play wind, wood instruments, they're lifting their upper palate and stimulating cranial nerves, access to your brainstem, and making your exhale longer. With sound, you can vibrate through the body. Sound is a great form of healing. Let your lower belly be soft. Let your diaphragm move out in 360 directions. Shoulders are relaxed. And we take an inhale together. Exhaling on. 2 more. Again, any subtle differences. I encourage you in the privacy of your own space. It's always there available for you. A sigh of relief. Ah. And some of these somatic exercises we'll be incorporating in the practices. You're looking for a sigh or a yawn or a release at certain points. Sometimes letting go of maybe actively seeking it. I'm sure it will come with the physical practices. And a sigh is when we take an extra breath at the top of the inhale. You feel that relaxing. Yawning is great to soothe and stimulate your nervous system. Okay. So you can open your eyes and we'll start with the left hand, your left finger. We're going to work into the face. And then right above the top of the lip and just to the outer portion of your nose, you feel that indent there under your cheekbone. And it's the entry point of it's one of the colon meridians here. And I think it's L20, large intestine. And it's a little softer than the rest. It's a little more sensitive. It was once used to be two bones and now it's fused into one here. And just that lightness, it's like sometimes less is more, as if your skin, the finger of your skin and your face, you have like a Velcro connection. So you've got this attachment and you can start sliding it up and down. And you might notice there's one way that's less resistant than the other. Go in the way of more resistance and hold there. And just notice the rest of your body, if your shoulders or your feet or lower belly, anywhere that's maybe come more tense, just as you've now brought more attention to one area. Maybe with this holding, that tension has released. And then in this indent, we can start to circle. And with your little circles, go in both directions and notice if there's one direction that feels smoother than the other. And then choose to go in the direction of more resistance. And again, this is recorded, so you'll be able to come back to it. I can also send some written instructions with it, because don't doubt yourself. Sometimes we think, oh, I don't know, but that's okay. There will be that place of a bit of resistance, and then you hold there, or you continue with the small little circles. And you should be able to feel the fascial bags underneath. There's a few layers of muscles. Right. And for the last little point on this one side, we will press a little deeper in toward the bone. And so you can get right into that bone area. And this will help us to relax the middle third of the face, where we want to express in the face with the eyes or the mouth, and not feel we get held in these points of consternation. And you're gently pressing into the bone, just noticing the sensations changing. Feel free at any point to close your eyes. Maybe you notice there's a sigh of relief or any yawning, and if not, no worries. Maybe this is your first time exploring this type of facial massage. You can let your left finger go. Take a moment and observe if there's a lot more freedom in that side of your face. Yeah. And then we'll go do the same on the other side. So it's the junction above the top of the lip, out to the side of the nostril, where it's more sensitive, this L20 in meridian. And in Thai massage, it's called the golden bamboo. And in the yogic or in the Chinese medicine, I think it's golden fragrance at these entry points of massage. So same thing, we're just feeling the touch and maybe going in or out of the face, up or down, you'll notice one way has more access and one way another. You want to go into the point where you're meeting most resistance. You kind of just hold there until maybe that resistance release. This is also really good for expanding for breath for the nostrils. Notice if any tension has creeped into the shoulders or back of the neck, low in the belly. You can start to circle with the finger in that point, that nice kind of slow, deeper point there. To the outside of the nostril, just under the high cheekbone. And make sure you find that circle of both ways. And maybe there's one path of more resistance, and continue with that path. You want to maintain that connection. It's almost like a subtle magnet, even maybe is a better analogy of the skin on your finger to the skin of your face. And so many nerve endings right under the skin. So also going to our cranial nerve 5 and 7. Oh. And then we will press in a little deeper so we can actually feel the bone, which is now 2 fused bones. You can actually almost propriocept there that it was probably once 2 bones that is now become 1. And keep going until you find the bone, find that point that's quite releasing. So we're all becoming our own teachers. We're all utilizing innate knowledge, innate wisdom in the world, practices that we can heal ourselves, guide ourselves, uplift ourselves, and of course in community. Once you've had enough release with your right hand, let it rest back to your leg and just observe anything there in the face. Is there more freedom for the nose, for the mouth, in your cheeks? None of us need Botox, I'm sure none of us ever. You want to consider that idea. And fingertips under, just now on that inside point of your eyebrows. You can go with both fingers just for time efficiency. And you can feel this little lift, maybe high, low, out to the side. Give yourself little circles gently there, in and around. And then you can do the same of gently pressing into that bone. Taking a few deep breaths. And then use your fingers to, from that lower endpoint of your eyebrow crease, slide up and around out of the bone. And we'll go outside the temples, right into that skin on the hairline. As you draw the line, and if that felt really nice, smooth it up. You can take a few, easing out the tension there. Good job. I'm just going to change up my seat a little. You might want to change the cross of your legs. And I'll come into pin the screen. So take your right hand under the shoulder here, and you find this junction between your pec major, pec minor. And as if you're lifting that skin up and out, start to circle your left shoulder. And something I just started doing this morning, because what I notice is, especially for all the modern bodies, all this working at the desk or sitting, is we're concaving in the chest. So I'm lifting the arm here a little, and you might start to feel even your collarbone or shoulder blade, the nuggets of tension there. But I'm actively lifting up the skin under the collarbone. Again, lovely pressure points, meridian lines here, kidneys, and circling through the shoulder. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So lift up that skin above your breast. And first you might just lift the shoulder and circle it up, back and down without the arm. And it's interesting because we're so sensitive in the underarm, and naturally so. So many meetings there, nerve endings. But notice just the own touch of your hand. You can start lifting the arm, just helping you guide and propriocept, maybe how to sit taller, stand taller. Oh, great. And then we let that go. We can bring both hands to the chest, fingertips somewhere under your collarbones, elbows heavy. And just notice if there's any stuck tension there along your sternum bone with the skin. Let the elbows be heavy. Feel from base to crown. Now with the soft mouth, soft bottom jaw, begin to lift the chin and use your hands as little magnets, weights on your chest. Opening up the throat and then releasing again, letting the chin fold in toward your fingertips. You can try a few of those where your fingers are underneath, helping to hold and ground your chest. When you lift your chin, keep the jaw relaxed, mouth slightly open. Think of all the forward and back movements we do in yoga, this conditioning for the nervous system to open and release. Maybe one more there. Relaxing. You can relax your arms onto your legs. One little bit more of sitting here, and then we'll shake it up for our legs. So we'll let the eyes go all the way to the right. So you're going to keep your gaze really going right, and then allow your right ear to go to your right shoulder as well, without lifting either shoulder. I'm going to hold here, maybe for around 30 seconds, keeping your gaze all the way to the right. And notice, does your head tip forward or back? Do you feel your sit bones even in space? Of course, your eyes will need to blink. It's not like you have to look at anything in particular. Relaxing through the neck, jaw. Feeling back body, front body, and just the weight of your head. Lift everything up. Notice more freedom left side. Let the gaze go all the way to the left, looking out of the left corner of your eye. Keeping the gaze there as you relax left ear to left shoulder. Try not to lift the left shoulder to the ear. Try to feel your breath. Keep the gaze going left. You have the tendency to dip forward with your head or back. trying to keep the cervical spine in line with the rest of your spine. And then we come back. Well done. Let's wrap around. You can hold the elbows here underneath. So we'll access the upper trapezius to begin with. We're going to slide the elbows side to side. You feel that skin touch on the lower abs. Head stays neutral, and a few kind of wish-washes, slides. Working into, yeah, nice elevator scapula, upper traps. And then change the cross of your elbows. Bring the hands more in line with your chest. Same thing as you sit up tall. Slide and glide. Oh, the middle portion of your trapezius. Beeping there. Smooth motions. Nothing too controlled or forced. And we'll change the grip once more. We'll bring it as high as you can now. And you go a little side to side there. So it might just be somewhere in front of your eyes. And now you're accessing your lower trapezius. Oh. Oh. And we relax the arms. We're going to come into tabletop, all fours position. Same little thing here, it's called the salamander exercise. Well, first you might want to release your toes, circle the ankles as you're on your knees. Pad your hands, spread out the fingertips. Little wag of the tail, lift up of the lower belly. Gaze will go all the way right. So first with a neutral spine, turn and look all the way to your right. And now let the head, right ear, go to right shoulder. Head goes the same way. Gaze is all the way right. And then start to bring the right hip towards your right shoulder as well. And we sort of make more definition into this left side body stretch. Gaze is going all the way right. Holding there, breathing there. Trying to find a nice smooth curve of left side, left spinal axis. Any tension maybe in the base of the crown or the base of the skull, releasing. Slowly release, come back to center. Let your gaze go all the way left. First, really look out of the left corner of your eye with a neutral spine. And then let the head turn toward the left as well. Left ear toward left shoulder. And start to twist through or curve through your body. Left hip up to left shoulder. Try to evenly relax the feet behind you, pressing into the knees, the hands. Noticing anything through the chest, shoulders, side body. And then let that go. Walk your hands forward, come all the way down onto your belly. Onto the forearms, into Sphinx. And start to rock the hips, pelvis. If we think of well as, the infants when they're crawling, learning to walk, their first exploration to use the trapezius muscle. So big muscles responsible for our brainstem, cranial nerves, all that system for for the nervous system or autonomic nervous system to be in a healthy response mode. To take care of these spinous processes. Hands could be interlaced or flat. Really lengthen the toes back behind you. Maybe scoop your pubic bone a little further up toward your ribs. Try to soften the shoulders down the back. And then turning to look over right shoulder. You can let the gaze go all the way right as well. And just feel if you can access anything differently, sensations here, same thing. How's the breath? How's the attention? Begin to work to open up very softly the SCM muscles. And it's challenging to keep the gaze and the head turned. Relax, come through center. Maybe just let the elbows wing out to the sides for a moment. Anywhere you want to rest your head or your hands. We come back up onto the forearms. Hands can be flat or interlaced. When you look over left shoulder, let the gaze go all the way left. Turning there. Slight drawing in of your chin. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. Keeping the belly soft, pubic bone on the ground. Last few seconds. And then you come back into center. So let your arms extend forward with the hands facing up and lower yourself down. Next inhale, we'll raise right arm, left leg. And the head stays relatively neutral. You can press down through right toes, left hand, but you're lifting, reaching in opposite directions of the right hand, left leg. Relax and change side. Left hand, maybe the thumb is facing slightly up or the palm is up, and the right toes lift. The head lifts slightly off the ground, but you try to find that center line. Reach in opposite direction. As if someone's pulling your foot, pulling your hand. Let it go. And one more time, either side now. Hand, left leg. Release. Left arm, right leg. Right in opposite directions. And releasing. Bring your arms into cactus arms, elbows outside the shoulders. And then looking towards your left hand, pick up the right foot, stay looking left and tap the right toes out to your left. Head is slightly lifted. Come back to center. Go steady. Make sure your elbows are in line. Look to the right, right elbow. Pick up left leg. Tap it over to the right. Whoa. Bit of an awkward twist there. One more time, either side. Look to the left. Tap right toes behind you. For some people, their head prefers to be on the ground. You look to the right. Tap your opposite toes out to the side. Relax it back down. Frame your ribs. Pull the body up. Either widely child pose or down dog. Maybe it's nice to go through the child pose first. Whenever you're ready, we will lift into down dog. Nice wide in the hands. Sit bones high.
It's sort of like this wave gently pulling from the crown of your head. Giving you space there in the back, the occipital ridge. Nice spread through your hands. Really stretch forward through the index finger. Lift the toes, spread them. Like pedaling in your feet. Getting a nice skin stretch there onto the feet. Knees bending. You lift your inner thighs higher, higher. You will walk the hands back to the feet. Get nice and soft through your legs. Take a hold of your elbows here and your Uttanasana forward fold. But now remember what you did with the elbows sitting. You feel that stretching, releasing from your upper traps, mid traps, lower trapezius. Knees be soft, any amount. Bones of the feet, the bones of your heels, all the toes. Sit bones lifting, spreading a little bit as you find Mula Bandha, pelvic floor. Then the knees, release the elbows. Climb up onto your thighs for a supported Utkatasana. So we work to build the heat a little bit more here. And it's nice to maybe shift a little side to side. To bend into one knee and the other, as if you're walking in Utkatasana. Hands to the heart. You could stay with hands to the heart, or we're going to work a twist in Utkatasana. Feel free to open up the arms into a V position. At any point, you can come back to hands, maybe waist, belly, or thighs. You're here in V position. Relax right elbow as you start to move towards your right and left arm comes forward. Sink back further with your left hip. Inhale to center. Relax left elbow, sweep it in and go forward with your right hand. Right hip comes back. Inhale, come through center. One more time, either side. Scoop right elbow in, go diagonally forward with your left hand, left hip a little lower. Right arm forward, left elbow comes back, diagonal reach with right hand, get a little lower. And then fold over your legs, walk. Relax the head, sway out through the pelvis. Maybe a few halfway lifts. Folding in. How is the spine, neck, shoulders? What is the soft gaze? How are your eyebrows? Back up to your Utkatasana. Hands on the thighs. Get a nice firm stance in the low back. So you feel that real support here in your lower back. Same thing. This time we're going to bring opposite elbow toward the outside. So you inhale, reach forwards. And then left elbow toward the outside of your right thigh. Inhale forward. Right elbow toward outer left thigh. Still got that reach. Okay, one more time, either side. Scoop up through the inner thighs and find that Utkatasana twist. Right elbow toward the left. Coming through center, this time rise up to stand. Take a moment to relax into Tadasana. I'll be cut off a little through the head. Let's go to my cameraman. All right, we'll open out the legs. Toes are forward, heels are back. Bend and straighten your knees a few times and see what's there. I love to press the feet into the ground and find a little shake up through the legs. It's as if your feet are glued, but you're doing a penguin walk. So you can sway, get little motions into your sacrum. Shake, shake, shake. Great to strengthen your feet as well. Okay, the right toes, we'll bring them forward. Turn a little back. Pivot the left toes in slightly. If you're working with me in the week, you know we do a lot of bending both knees, even in our triangle legs or warrior legs, because knees are there, they need to be bent. And often we think we've mastered a pose and we're like, I know how to do it and I do it that way all the time, but do it differently all the time. Left hand to your outer thigh, more or less. Right hand inside your thigh. Just finding that opening there through your leg. And we will work to straighten the front leg as much as possible, as well as your back leg for classic triangle. Pull the muscles up. Let the chest open. Extend through your arms. See where you're going. At the same time as you see where you're going, draw energy up through the feet. Find your bandhas. Feel into the back of the neck. Keep spreading through the toes. And as you lean out forwards, find that line. And then allow your right hand to come anywhere on the shin. And your fingertips find your shin. Press back with your shin into your fingertips and tuck the right shoulder back in space. The left arm is skywards. You have this beautiful scissoring, opening action through your arms, inner biceps opening. Oh, and really pull up through your inner thighs. And always turn the gaze up. Just keep the head relaxed, looking down. And play with that swiveling of the chin. Free to go for the extension. Utthita Trikonasana. Powerful side body line. Power in your feet. Remember, your knees are there to protect you. So you work front, back, and sides of your legs. So come out, soften the right knee, find warrior two. Shoulder roll. You might open your stance a little bit wider here. Come into side angle. A few variations you can do in your side angle as well. So bigger stretch for your inner thighs. Find the tailbone heavy, pubic bone lifting. Arms are wide. How is the reach? You can look over back finger, front finger. Senses. Okay, first option is forearm to the thigh. But really lift your inner back knee. And of course, you go for the extension. Here's your first stage, side angle. Some of you might want to hold a foot or bring your hand inside or outside the foot. For a lot of you here, you'll be able to work your right sitting bone further back in space. Come out and in any point you need. And some people want to maybe half bind with their left arm. Helps to open up the chest. If anyone wants to fully bind, maybe you go through a few different stages, you're working that right shoulder under the leg, going for the wrist or the fingers of your left hand. There's no superior, inferior. It's just what you need at this moment from the pose. Use the pose to get into your body, not your body to get into the pose. Whatever stage you're in, you can release, maybe through extension. As you come up, notice the sensations change in the body. Feel your arms relaxing. Maybe your feet come closer in. Maybe you come back to the penguin shake. Maybe you'd like to have a moment of complete stillness. Feel your right hip from your left hip. We lose contact with our diaphragmatic breathing. Always. I know I do. Left toes out, right toes in. Here's your legs. You can obviously look at your toes. You can bring that attention to your insteps, your knees, as you're working. How you can find the source, the bones. And using from the densest material portions of the body into the more subtle, airy aspects. Arms are open. Get nice and tall. For a moment, as if you're just floating in space. As you reach out, finding that target, finding your goals, go forth, And allow the fingertips to find the shin. Press back with your shin into your fingertips. Right arm will lift. And then you have this beautiful kind of expansive plane, window pane, or a plane of opening with your arms. The left shoulder tucks back. It probably feels very different on this side. I know it does. It feels slightly harder. Where's your left sitting bone? Do you go for the extension? Utthita. Maybe the chest is limiting you. Does your arm tend to go forward or back over the face? A nice side body line. Mula Bandha. Space in your sacrum. Come up and out through Warrior Two. Feel free to open up your legs a little more. Feel free to find your outer portion of the back leg. Move through the inside of that front leg. And we prepare for side angle. First, you have to find the center line. Not tipping forwards or back or side to side. Sometimes people tend to lean forward with the body in this pose, or back or forward. Get right over your center. Forearm, you can start with forearm. Keep open through the belly and the chest. Work the side angle. And notice the legs are shifting. Everything's kind of working in tandem, responding to your movements, to your actions. And your stages are here. Where do you go with it? Do you touch inside or outside? Hold your ankle. Do you half bind with the top arm? Full bind. Do you find that finger wrist? Maybe there's big differences there in the shoulder. Definitely a lot tighter on my right side. I can't find the wrist here. Oh. Wherever you are, feel it, breathe into it. Notice as we release, watch the intensity quickly subside. We stand for a moment. The hands just resting by your side, maybe on the body, hard belly. Your hand is on your heart, you feel your heart beat. You're just observing whatever it is. Okay, we'll turn the toes out. Come into standing goddess. See, I love all the Hindu deities, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Durga, Kali. Maybe you like more of the traditional, I don't know, or the Greek, Venus. Maybe there's something coming to you, but here in your horse stance, you have to, you can only feel powerful, open, and strong in it. We'll take a few dips of the shoulders. Move intuitively with it when you go one side to the other. And utilize the hands to open the thighs, to rotate throughout the axis of your spine. Keep getting lower with your sit bones, potentially as you move through. Feel that stacking protection for your knee above your ankle. Ready, heels come back, slide the hands down the legs. We start to wind the energy back down to the ground. We'll take a moment here and wide-legged forward fold. Maybe you hold elbows and sway. Maybe you interlace, cup the back of your head with your hands. Hold anywhere on your legs. Some people like to bind their fingers behind them. Fingers up toward the ceiling, to the sky. With great opening for the back body. And a release, deep release. Even if you Really fine mula bandha here. Pubic bone to navel. Chin toward the navel. Come down into, actually let's toe heel the feet closer together. So your big toes are touching. Lift your heels and let your knees open. So we have more of a, it's like a garland pose, toe squat. Just do a little camera maneuverings there. You're in this toe squat, knees out to the side. You can see all right, the glaring. And you can keep your hands down, but you're just feeling the nice stretch for your toes. Always stay balanced. And you can explore maybe lifting the hands to actually balance maybe the sit bones somewhere on your heels, knees out to the side. That challenge there. It's okay to feel wobbly. Squeeze the toes down. They are stronger than you think. And some of you might even want to lift your hands up overhead. It's just an option there. It's not a requisite. Whenever we release out, find your fingertips to the floor. I'm going to turn to the side. But you're here in this wide knee stance. Guide your knees down to the mat. The knees can be wide. Okay, and the toes are tucked behind you. And we'll work this wider variation of camel, of back bend. If you need to untuck the toes for a moment, pause, do. In this wide variation. Take your left fingertips, work them behind you. We did a lot of these diagonal reaches today. And your right hand is going to lift up. Just explore what that's like as you open through the front body. Now reach somewhere for the floor, fingertips, and then reach a little higher through the right. Got a nice cupping action with the left hand. Allow your front body to open a little bit more. Now you might even work to lift your pelvis here. Knees, thighs, and the pelvis. And come back. Maybe lift onto the knees for a minute. Relax your toes. Pat, pat a pat. Tuck them back. Sit back on the heels. Right hand comes behind you. Left hand lifts. You find the reach. And then find that tentative reach for the floor. Make a cup. You open up belly, chest, and then maybe the hips. Give it a squeeze through the lower back and out. Now either release it still, you have enough of that, or you might want one more either side. Got that reach through your arms, with that lift. Keeping the same what we did. Maybe downward facing dog. Weight back into the heels, head relaxes forward. Have more space in the chest, shoulders. Going to come down onto the back body. So you might lower to the knees, sweep your legs out to the side. Hop or jump forward into a seat. And roll yourself down onto your back foot, back body. And stay with knees bent. Try to feel as much of your spine onto the mat as possible. So what I like to do is even lift the sitting bones and slide the sit bones slightly toward the heels. Feeling your sacrum there. And take a few rolls of the pelvis. Last little somatic vagus stimulation here. Interlace the hands and cup the back of the head. Let your head rest in your hands. You want to feel the cranial bones. You want to feel your occipital bones and the fingers meeting the head. If this is too much, just do one hand. If it's too much with both hands cupping the back of the head, just do one. And settle in there. Maybe your inner knees rest, constructive rest. Find a comfortable position for your feet. This is a great one, and this is basic exercise you can do any point throughout the day, maybe several times a day. If you really want to get into that nice ventral vagus state for your nervous system. Head stays neutral, and let your gaze go all the way left. We hold the gaze left, maybe for around 30. If you're at home alone, you can do 30 up to 60 seconds. What you will probably feel is the difference of tension from the left side to the back right side of the head and neck. Keep the head stays neutral. Relax through the body of the feet. Just the eyes are looking to the left. You might find that sigh, that yawn creeps in. Okay, then let the gaze come back to neutral. The gaze goes all the way to the right. Head stays nice and grounded in your hands. Just the eyes. I feel the tensile differences there, left and right side, back of the head. Relax the belly. Keep the eyes to the right. Keep the head nice and relaxed. Whole body relaxed. Maybe you found that sigh or yawn. The things you can do on your own with practice. Eyes come back neutral. Release the head. Oh. Free to join. Bring the right knee into the belly. See here. Extending the left leg. You might want to stay with just hugging right knee in and exploring little movements, rolls, rocks. Some of you might have a twist that's coming into mind, maybe a double binded legs or just a single leg twist. Some of you might prefer more hip opening with happy baby, half happy baby. You ready? Changing sides. The right foot on the ground, when the left knee comes in, you might find lovely pressure points on your back body. You just want to hug and hold. Going for the deeper inner groin stretch. What happens to the chest, throat, anywhere in the face? And is there a twist calling to you? Kind of, oh, maybe the half stirrup, half happy baby. What we've been doing this week, that's we pay more attention to. We've been traveling more, sitting more, walking more. Stay lying down. And these last few moments as we reach the hour, it's 9 a.m. in Ireland. In the UK, it's 10 a.m. here in Spain. And hopefully you have some nice plans for your Saturday. And just finishing reading you a little bit about the Hierophant. If I can find it, or maybe I've gotten rid of it. It's here. So the key words for this Hierophant card, which is from the Thoth deck, the Aleister Crowley Thoth deck. It's Taurus. It's a spiritual master, a teacher, advisor, initiate, inner guide, spiritual father, highest transformation. Card is ruled by Taurus. Throne of the initiate is a bull surrounded by two elephants, whose nature is the same as that of the bull. The four cherubim, guardians of the altar, are found in the four corners of the picture. Bull, lion, eagle, person, representing the different aspects of being. Taurus, the bull, is symbolic of earth, matter, the physical. Leo, the lion, represents the element of fire, the capacity for intuition, willpower, and dynamism. Person represents the element air, Aquarius, the mental spiritual plane. The eagle represents highest transformation and is connected to the element water, Scorpio, the realm of emotions. The Hierophant has united all these elements in themselves and has brought them to full expression. The awakened one, the fulfilled, the enlightened, true spiritual master, who acts as the intermediary between the human and the divine. Spirit made flesh, bull, or final stage of human development in which the human is united with the godly. The woman stands before him holding the crescent moon. A sword is Venus, ruler of Taurus. She holds the symbol for wisdom and emotion, a sign that these are in balance. The Hierophant has united the female and male within himself and evolved fully. When male and female unite, the child Horus is born, naked, unprotected, vulnerable, full of openness, trust in existence. He represents true wisdom, expressed in the natural innocence of a child. Anyone who spends time in the presence of the Hierophant is touched by this quality. All defense mechanisms must be dropped in order to come fully into contact with the being. The head is surrounded by 5 white lotus petals, symbolic of love, in its purest, most perfect form. This is the love which can see the other and give what is really needed at the moment. It may not always be something the other one wants or wishes. The true master does not fulfill the disciple's wishes. Truth is a provocation which can shake us out of the heavy, sweet sleep of unconsciousness. Only those who are free of self-seeking motivation can wield the truth in this way, like Jesus whipping the moneylenders out of the temple. The serpent of transformation at the top of the painting is touched by 9 nails. They are reminiscent of the crown of thorns, a reminder of the pain and suffering which accompany every transformation. True transformation can happen only in an attitude of receptiveness, sensitivity, trust, and surrender to divine love. The dark background emphasizes the function of the Hierophant, who brings the light of consciousness into the darkness of ignorance. Our affirmation: there is only one voice worth listening to, the voice of my heart. And so I leave you here, dear friends,
And for Isabel and Nicola who couldn't make the online class, the live will be checking the replay. Thank you, Hannah, Indra, Gabby, Deborah, Annabelle, Harriet, Jane, and Alex, who is joining as well, I believe. So grateful to you all. So grateful we meet in many ways at various times. I'm always here for you. When you ride, we touch in. I'll see you again in the week. Enjoy your day. Many blessings. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.